Joanne, perhaps I can turn to you, and perhaps you can give us a flavour of the role that MSF plays in all of this as a first responder in the field.
Well, what I wanted to share with you, because I've been agonizing to prepare my notes for that session, by the way, because I think that today the refugees crisis for MSF is one of the biggest failures that we've seen at the international community. And this is something that I think that, because Andrew was pushing me to say, oh, you need to talk about innovation. And I said, there's nothing innovative about, I said, we've been quite innovative actually at the EU, by managing to pass a deal with no dissident voice, 28 nations voting for the deal with Turkey and EU, and just say, sending back people to a country that is already hosting the most number of refugees is right. There's something very innovative about that, I must say. So one of the things, that I find really, I would say, is the fact is how we've changed a narrative, and how we have tried to somehow tweak things that to remove some of the rights that those people have who are fleeing for their life. And the fact that we changed from a narrative from refugees to migration, it's completely different. If you are a refugee, you are basically fleeing for your life. You're not, going, like my father did, went to Canada from China because he was looking for more opportunity. No, you're fleeing for your life, and that's the issue, because the reality is when you are a refugee, you have the right to asylum and you have the right to protection. But one of the things we are advocating for MSF is one step further, is that we should have the right to flight and the right for assistance. And this is what we are failing today. And then we find ourselves, MSF, being responder of and we've been working in refugee camps for more than 40 years. We're going to actually celebrate this year, I think, our 35th anniversary for some reasons. This is about my age. So, but the thing is the fact that we've never seen so much, I would say, despair, and then we've never seen so many people telling us things that I've not heard before, because we often, it's so easy to talk about Africa, who's actually right now hosting more than 85% of the people migrating in the world, of those 60 million, and then criticizing them or asking them to do things like, I don't know if you remember well, Kenya with the biggest refugee camp, Dadaab, and they were saying, keep your border open because those poor Somalians, who are starving need to go there. It's always easy to point out to other states and do that, but when it comes, that they are knocking at your doors, they are in your backyards, you change all of a sudden the rules of the game. And so for me, is what I find the most awful thing is the fact that today states are not living up to their responsibility as states according to the Refugee Convention. And then this is what I find is the scandal. This is the fact that I was in Lesbos over fall, and I welcome people, and I did our mobile clinic, and I did medical consultation. And one of the things that struck me the most is a woman who came to me, and I just said, why? Well, what was the main driver for you to leave Syria? And she looked at me as if I was the biggest naive person on earth. And she said, because every day in Syria we die. And then after that, she looks at me and she said, you know what? If I knew that I wouldn't even be able to go to the loo during the daytime because there was no basic sanitation service. If I knew that I would leave with my feet in the mud every single day of my life by coming here. If I knew I would lose my last patch of decency, I would have rather died in Syria. And I think for me it sums up everything about what's going on, and about the fact that we are in a delusion to a certain extent. Because the reality today, and I think that Farouk has really explained it well, is the push factor for people to leave countries and war today is not changing. Again, a doctor lost his life again today. MSF, we've been under attack, but not only us. But if we look at our statistic over the last year in Syria, we are supporting 153 medical facilities. We have 63 of our facilities who got either attacked by aerial bomb or by shelling. 12 of them have been completely destroyed. We have treated more than 154,000 people in our facilities from war wounded. And then basically, what I'm saying is it's normal that people want to leave war. It's normal. And unless we change that, the push factor will be the same. And it's normal that people are attracted by wealth. And the wealth, is very basic. It's peace. It's not getting a bomb on the head. It's even, getting a job on the black market. It's still much more appealing than living in Syria or Yemen or Afghanistan today. And then so, as long as there will be no game changer for that, then we're going to see people basically rolling in our backyards. And then I think that it's a very short-sighted way of looking at the problem by just blocking, I would say, the borders. And the reality today is because I called my team today, I just said, what do you want me to tell the people at the Skoll? They all want innovation. They all want to hear something great from you guys. And they just said, the thing is, one of the things that we've done for MSF, because we had to adapt ourselves, is the fact that initially when the border were open, we ended up creating what I call the mobile health. And then one of the things was to create, and we don't like to call it like this anymore because people don't like the word, but we call it the passport health. So basically what we were trying to do is if you were living and you had diabetes and you needed some insulin, you will have a passport. We will explain your health issue, and then you will go from one spot to another spot to our different mobile clinic, us or the Red Cross or any other NGO, and you will have your health chart with you. So this is one thing. But today, things have changed because people are stuck. And then people are stuck. And when I was talking to my team this morning, I just said, so what is going on? And they said, well, in right now, in Lesbos, it's basically people are in detention. And then we see children coming, unaccompanied by parents, in prison, in detention. And they don't know where to go. And they actually don't even know that the trip is ending here. And they're going to be sent back, where the next boat is going to go back, or next flight is going to go back to Turkey. So the thing is, I wish, I would have solution. And Andrew just said, Joanne, you have to come up, with innovation. These are the young people who's going to change the world. And then they're like the Silicon Valley of development, of entrepreneurship. And I'm telling you that I'm out of solution. And I've never been so desperate about a situation as I am right now. And I don't know what to say, but what I can tell you is the fact that if we are to look, and I think that's my plea for you, is the fact that if we are to continue and say that the trigger to do something will always be fear, like it was for Ebola, like it is right now, because we're having people that we have the feeling they are invading our backyards, I think that we're going to get it wrong. We're going to get the wrong answer. And I think for me, the trigger to do something, it's about life. It's about safeguarding life. And then it means that it's ensuring the right to flight, the right to protection, the right to assistance, bottom line, the right to dignity. And for me, all lives count. And this is the rule that cannot be broken. Otherwise, we are in a dead end. Thank you.